I'm gonna wake up and keep trying to do good, and so are you, and nobody gets to vote on that. Justin McElroy. Thank you, Andy. That was very nice. Welcome, everyone, to the Berkeley Fellowship of Unitarian Universalists. I'm Ernest Kilmartin. We are part of a free religious tradition that honors the loving heart, the open mind, and growing together within beloved community. And a special welcome to our friends on Zoom. Everyone, please have your cell phones muted and take a few deep breaths. Settle comfortably into your seat and prepare for our sacred hour together. Our fellowship stands on land that is today called Berkeley, California, located in the unceded territory of the Ohlone people. We honor them today and always for their wisdom and resilience in surviving and preserving their culture. Now, welcome Reverend Carrie for our opening words.
I've chosen a few old poems by Hafiz many decades ago that always seem to speak for us. The sky is a suspended blue ocean. The stars are fish that swim. The planets are the white whales I sometimes hitch a ride on. The sun and all light have forever fused themselves into my heart and upon my skin. There is only one rule in this wild playground. Every sign Hafiz has ever seen reads the same. They all say, "Have fun, my dear, have fun." In the beloved's divine game, oh, in the beloved's wonderful game. Thank you.
We will now do our chalice lighting. Please light your own chalice or candles at home now while we light this communal chalice for all of us, a symbol of our tradition and the spirit that lives within every one of us. Please read with me our unison chalice lighting. Let love be the spirit of this congregation and service its goal. This is our living covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truths in life, and to help one another. We light the red candle to mourn Black lives taken by police violence, to proclaim that Black lives matter, and to express our commitment to Black liberation, reparations, and the end of slave capitalism. Please join the choir in singing number 163 in the Gray Hymnal, For the Earth Forever Turning. Now is the time for a responsive reading, led for us today by me. Please turn to number 551, also in your gray hymnal. Earth, teach me stillness, as the grasses are stilled with light. Earth, teach me caring, as parents who secure their young. Earth, teach me limitation, as the ant which crawls on the ground. Earth, teach me resignation, as the leaves which die in the fall. Earth, teach me to forget myself, as the melted snow forgets its life.
I think the order of service still had time for all ages, but I'm not going to do a story today. I think we need to keep our time close to its proper hour. Our silent meditation and prayer. Now, I start with a poem by Hafiz again. When your eyes have found the strength to constantly speak to the world all that is most dear to your own life, when your hands, feet, and tongue can perform in that rare unison that comforts this longing earth with the knowledge your soul has been groomed in his city of love. And when you can make others laugh with jokes that belittle no one, and your words always unite, Hafiz does vote for you. Hafiz will vote for you to be the minister of every country in this universe. Hafiz does vote for you, my dear, to be God. And now, let yourselves rest and breathe deeply in this silence as time invites you to open your soul to all that rises within you. And now, let us return to our time together as we share our joys and sorrows.
The ritual of joys and sorrows is a time for each of us to share what is in our hearts this week and ask for community prayers and support. Each week, we lay out a book that was formerly to your left but is now in my hands, in which you are welcome to write your joys and sorrows. and we share those with the community. I will read those now. Happy birthday to all Scorpios. Christine, Norman, Nancy, and Simone at the Lake Rachel Star send healing vibes to all animals everywhere. Send healing vibes to all those affected by storms. And in the words of Melody Moore, one foot in front of the other foot, and lead with love. Blessing and prayers for the LGBT plus community in the new age of Trump from Simone, and expressing deep grief for all who will suffer here at home and abroad as a result of this election. Also gratitude for this community where I can feel I belong, from Jillian. Now is the time we say aloud the names of anyone we want to send support and loving energy to.
Kristen. Palestinian children.
Now we move on to the silent part of this morning ritual. It's the healing ritual with water and stones. For anything that is in our hearts that we wish to bring into the community but is perhaps too sensitive to speak aloud, we have a symbolic action you can take. You can walk down the center aisle, choose a stone or stones, and immerse it in the water, which represents our community.
Still bright.
For all that we have shared and for all that we will share in our ongoing lives together, may we be grateful. Now it is time for the metta meditation, which comes to us from the Buddhist tradition. Please join me in singing along with the words in your program. May I be safe, may I be well, may I know joy, may I be free. May you be safe, may you be well, may you know joy, may you be free. May they be safe, may they be well, may they know joy, may they be free, may all be Now join the choir in singing number 79 in the gray hymnal, No Number Tallies Nature Up. Thank you for that wonderful song. Our next reading is number 435, We Come Together This Morning. We come together this morning to remind one another, to rest for a moment on the forming edges of our lives, to resist the headlong tumble into the next moment, until we claim for ourselves awareness and gratitude, taking the time to look into one another's faces and see their communion, the reflection of our own eyes. This house of laughter and silence, memory and hope, is hallowed by our presence together. Now is the time when we share our responsibility for the home which we are creating together, our shared plate partner for World Central Kitchen, which is feeding thousands daily in Gaza, men, women, and children. Please give generously to support BFUU and our shared plate partner, World Central Kitchen. Let us dedicate our offerings. Read along with me, please. To the work of this fellowship, which is creating beloved community within and beyond these walls, we dedicate ourselves, and these are offerings. The choir will now be performing Keep On Moving Forward by Pat Humphreys.
You can sing along too. It's in page 216 in the blue book, Rise Up Singing.
Yeah, it'd be great if you sang along
Yeah,
with us.
especially, yeah, just sing the whole thing. I'll wait till you get to, I'm going to wait for people to get to the right page. Okay. Gonna keep on walking forward. Keep on walking forward. Keep on walking forward. Never turning back.
Work for change together. Work for change together. Never turning back. Never turning back. Gonna keep on walking forward. Keep on walking forward. Keep on walking forward. Never turning back. Never turning back. Never turning back. Never turning back.
Thank you. Reverend Dr. Caroline Knowles describes herself as a recovering psychologist and recovering attorney who graduated from Starr King in 2011 and was ordained to UU ministry in 2013. Along with providing pastoral care at BFUU and preaching at Bay Area churches as a guest speaker, she writes poetry, short stories, and is working on a memoir.
Well, I thought I'd better think about the universe this week instead of some other things going on in the world. And I found some questions arising. What can we see in the sky? What have we seen in the universe with useful instruments? What have we never seen and probably never will see in our lifetime, but we think we know is out there in our universe, acting as matter? And what's this mysterious force that seems imperceptible but is changing every instant? Once upon a time, I looked up in the clear sky at night and saw the Milky Way at some enormous distance from Earth, actually 150,000 trillion miles, and had the mistaken notion that I was seeing the universe. I felt small, but kind of visible. Then, scientists provided telescopes that let viewers find out about massive stars and powerful gravity around the monster black hole that lies in the center of the Milky Way. That black hole, called black because it is invisible, has the mass equivalent of some 4 million suns. I felt smaller than small. We now see some part of what's beyond the Milky Way, the other galaxies that show up on much more powerful telescopes. An acceptable range, once suggested by the experts, was just between 100 billion and 200 billion galaxies. Recently, that estimate rose to 2 trillion galaxies. Not exactly something we can calculate on the fingers of our 2 hands. And these galaxies are racing away from us. Since the universe is expanding faster than the speed of light, we can only see galaxies whose light had enough time to reach us. Another reality: galaxies change over time. Our Milky Way is on the collision course with the nearby Andromeda galaxy. They're expected to merge in about 4 billion years. Maybe our government will turn back to democracy by then. So, if there are about 2 trillion galaxies, how many stars are there in the universe? Maybe you can do the math on your computer. The current guess is that there are about 100 billion stars in the average galaxy. There are some estimates, though, that just the Milky Way, for instance, may have 200 billion stars. I ain't doing the math. We have some guesses, though, of the mass of objects in this visible universe. Years of research have taught us that visible matter basically consists of subatomic particles, not politics, particles, such as protons and neurons and electrons. These are particles that are part of our bodies and part of everything that we can perceive around us. So far, we've been learning about the aspects of this universe we think of as visible. Now, we have the stunning fact that all of the visible mass, these stars, galaxies, black holes, and any other dust in space, is only about 20% of the mass actually contained in the universe. There's good agreement now among scientists that there's something else that acts like matter, that exerts the force of gravity, for instance, but it'll never be seen by our eyes or caught by any telescope. The existence of 80% of the invisible, called dark matter, is inferred because without it, the behavior of stars and planets and galaxies would not be explicable. Dark matter is entirely invisible. It emits no light or energy. It's likely to be made up of some unknown kind of particles with very different characteristics. The leading candidates have been given the cute name of WIMPs, WIMPs. That really is for weakly interacting massive particles, WIMPs, which are thought to be 10 to 100 times the mass of, say, a proton. Why do we think this dark matter exists? If we try to account for all the matter we see in stars and gas and dust and the motions that they go through, we come up with a wrong answer. The objects in most galaxies are moving fast. Some galaxies are moving in clusters, and they don't have enough gravity to keep objects from flying out of their galaxy. There has to be some force, some gravitational force that's holding it. Most cosmologists now believe that it's dark matter that explains the behavior of galaxies. Dark matter is also required to explain the behavior of sound waves that traveled in the universe when it was less than 500,000 years old. Just a moment. The two things that we know about dark matter is it does exert gravity and it does move more slowly than the speed of light. For 100 years, we've been trying to find a way to picture dark matter. For every possible candidate, there's a different search practice. Giant detectors deep underground have been constructed to avoid all the other particles that are streaming through the environment around us. Other detectors have searched for invisible particles in outer space. How do we know it exists? The motions of stars tell us how much matter there really is. The answer is gravity, the force exerted by objects made of matter that's proportional to their mass. For a century, astronomers have proposed that the universe must contain more matter than we can see because the gravitational forces we find at play simply appear very much stronger than visible matter can account for. Astronomers studying spiral galaxies in the 1970s expected to see material at the center of the galaxy moving faster than at the outer edges. Instead, they found that the location of stars at the center and stars at the outer edge were traveling at the same velocity. Therefore, the galaxies must contain much more mass than can be seen. And clusters of galaxies, as we know, would fly apart if the only mass they contained was the mass that's visible in conventional astronomical measurements. Different galaxies seem to contain different amounts of dark matter. For instance, back in 2016, astronomers found a galaxy that was composed almost entirely of dark matter. 2 years later, astronomers found several galaxies that seemed to lack any dark matter altogether. So the search is on, but it hasn't reached its goal yet. The James Webb Telescope that was launched back in 2021 may help in the hunt for that elusive substance called dark matter. But for the time being, it's assumed to be 80% of the matter out there and around us. And in case that mystery were not overwhelming, we have another clear aspect of the universe that has no relationship to dark matter that leaves us in wonder, and that is dark energy. So what's dark energy? Again, it's a hypothetical form of energy that physicists have proposed to explain why the universe is not only expanding, but it's expanding at an accelerating rate. Dark energy is estimated to account for about 68 to 72% of the total energy of the universe. In other words, well more than half. About 25 years ago, it was discovered that the universe is expanding and it's speeding up with time. That process has been underway for the last 5,000 million years. The ingredient that causes this effect has to be a substance of fluid that overcomes the nature of gravity. And it has to be spread out in all space-time. Without that energy, the expansion would be slowing down, and eventually the universe would have imploded as galaxies, because of gravity, were getting closer and closer. It also seems that this current growing rate of expansion was not acting during the early start of the universe when galaxies were young and forming. And we're also uncertain if dark energy is changing with real time. A range of telescopes are out there that intend to decipher the nature of dark energy and evolution through time. But gravity still beats dark energy as we study the stars and planetary systems the galaxies and the clusters of galaxies. Dark energy only seems to act on the largest scales of the universe. It can only be measured by observing galaxies that are separated by massive gulfs of space in the order of millions or billions and maybe even tens of billions of light years. And the greater the distance that separates these cosmic objects, the faster they're racing away from each other. Astronomers figure that a cosmic object that's 100 million light years away is receding now at 1,336 miles per second. Meanwhile, a galaxy that's 1 billion light years away is receding 10 times faster at around 13,360 miles per second. Extraordinarily, one of the oldest galaxies ever discovered, that's estimated at about 32 billion light years away, is reckoned as moving away from us at twice the speed of light. We didn't think there were things that could move faster than light. That used to, under Einstein, that was held as a fact. But we have to change it now in understanding what's happening with this dark energy. Upon the start of the Big Bang, initial inflation lasted only a matter of seconds. Then expansion continued much more slowly. And that's when stars and galaxies and galactic clusters were able to take shape. Then, sometime between just 3 and 7 billion years ago, it seems that dark energy took over from gravity out there, and the universe began its rapid expansion again. We have no way to guess whether this will continue as it seems to work in the present, or if it'll change in some way in the future. If dark energy continues to accelerate the expansion of the universe, the fate could eventually be a big rip. That's the scenario in which dark energy eventually becomes dominant over every one of the fundamental forces of the universe, like gravity and electromagnetism and the strong and weak nuclear forces. It would break apart everything that's currently bound together by those forces, whether these are galaxies or planets or people and animals like us or any animal, even the protons and neutrons that make up the atoms that we're made of. These guesses and questions bring us back to the mystery that for so long has been taken for granted in our lives. We are conscious, living beings, each of us made of dust that swirled in the early universe. We're conscious enough to begin to guess the nature of a universe that now allows us to experience only about 4% of it. And we have opened our consciousness to learn of other living things on a single planet we call Earth. And these living things also have consciousness of sorts, like fungi and plants and all the other animals. It's hard to believe that the sun is the only star in this incredible universe that has a planet that has supported life and consciousness. And we have really no certainty about what will happen and when in this universe of ours. So I'll go along with Robert Frost, who wrote the poem entitled Fire and Ice. He wrote, "Some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. From what I've tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction, ice is also great and would suffice." Namaste.
Thank you, Reverend Carrie, for those inspiring words today. We gratefully acknowledge all who work together on this service. Thanks to all of you here and in the Zoom room who are sharing our service today. It's great to see you. Today on Zoom, we have today with us Ben Birch, Jean Marie and Frankie, Jinky and Mike Gardner, and Virginia Helens Davidson. Please check your order of service and/or email newsletter for the announcements. If you're not yet on our mailing list, go to bfuu.org to sign up or contact me after the service. And if anyone has announcements at this time, please come up to share them.
Thanks, Ernest. Hello, everybody. So if you want to know what I do every Sunday, I sit over there in the corner next to that guy, Paul and Christine. And I have a lot of fun over there. I adjust the cameras, and I do all the camera work for the Zoom people, who Ernest was just so nice to read. So if you want to do that, because sometimes I might not be here, and just let us know. Also, if you want to learn how to do the sound, we got a brand new soundboard. Paul helped us decide to go that direction. And the sound, you notice, is probably different from a year ago. Anyway, if you want to learn how to do the sound, the training for doing the Zoom camera work and or the sound, running the soundboard, will start at the beginning of December. So just let us know, and we'll be happy to train you, and you could be part of that AV team. The History Club, we've had 2 meetings so far. Our 3rd meeting will be this Wednesday. We'll have a potluck at 6 o'clock. And the club meeting will start from 7 to 9. The purpose of the club is have a place where you could be in a club. You could come, everyone will know your name, you'll know their names, and we also, the second purpose is to talk about history. So this time coming up, we have a talk on the Anglo-Saxon legal system as it developed around the 9th century. We'll have a talk on who was Jesus' natural father. So if you ever wondered about that, you might want to show up. And the 3rd speaker will be Prince, and he'll talk about can you help me with the name of the people? Is it Kikuyu? Kikuyu, people of Kenya, and how their early history and culture was very similar to the Israelite culture of a couple thousand years ago. So if you want to come and hear about that stuff, that's this Wednesday. If you want to come and join us for a potluck to do the club part where we just hang out and visit, 6 to 7. If you want to come and hear about the Kikuyu people and who Jesus' father might have been, that will be 7 to 9. The last announcement is the UU, the Unitarian Universalist Church of San Francisco, is inviting all UU young people of the ages 18 to 39 for pizza and board games at a place. It's at a meetup. The place is in the order of service. So hopefully you could come to one or all 3 of those things. We have a couple more. Want me to do the congregational meeting? There'll be a congregational meeting today at 12:30. And you're welcome. You don't have to be a member of the congregation. We welcome everybody to come and find out the nitty-gritty about how things work. So that will be today after we have a few, like a light lunch. And I think Phoebe's next.
This is the fun place to be on Friday nights. So this Friday night, the 3rd Friday, we're having our monthly open mic, and I'm hosting. Marcy Boyd is a fantastic singer, songwriter, guitarist, pianist. She'll be the featured artist. Performers sign up at 6:30, and then the show is from 7 till around 9. Everybody's welcome either to perform or just to enjoy the show. Magic, comedy, lots of music. Storytelling is fine, poetry, and anything else you want to do other than stripping. No stripping, please. No, you just come. If you come at 6:30, then you have more choice about when you will perform. Good, good, yeah. And then it's 5-minute slots, but if there's time at the end, there'll be another go-round or start of another go-round. The other Friday nights we have a dance here, Freestyle Fridays, and we have great music, recorded music, and you just move any way you feel like to the music with other people or by yourself, or you can even just sit and meditate as you like. It's lots of fun. It lifts my spirits every week. And our Social Justice Committee will be next Sunday. It's the third Sunday of every month after the lunch that follows the service. And we are endorsing the protest tomorrow for Gaza. It's actually to pressure our senators to stop sending weapons to Israel. So it starts at 11 at the Harry Bridges Plaza across from the Ferry Building in San Francisco, and there's a march to Padilla's office on Bush Street, and then a rally there from noon to 2. And his office is near the Montgomery Street BART station. So everybody's welcome at that as well. Thank you.
I have to ask, Ernest's permission. May I do the introduction part? Can I introduce the new people?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much. Okay.
I do have one announcement myself.
Okay, I'll let you do that and I'll do the last one. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have any ideas about that, what I was going to recommend is after the service, for those people who want to like have a more quiet lunch and talk about their feelings about this, which talking about might help, I was recommending that they sit closer to the door in the yellow table, and those who want to just have a normal conversation maybe sit more towards the green, and then you could like, and that way we'll kind of like help each other that way.
I have an additional announcement, which is that just getting ahead of it, on December 20th, I believe, that Friday, at a time, which I don't remember currently, but the choir that I'm in, the Bayesian Choir, will be performing at a solstice service at the Freight and Salvage. My friend Ozzy is running the script for the general event. I've heard it and a preview of it. It's very good. If this sounds at all interesting to you, come contact me after the service.
We're going back and forth here. So sometimes when people are new at a church, they like to introduce themselves, just say where they're from and what their name is, and sometimes they don't. So we want to give you the opportunity. If you're one of the people who would want to introduce yourself, you're welcome to now, and we'll pass a mic down. So just give us a second to get the mic there, and if you don't, that's fine too.
Check.
I don't see any hands go up. So, I do. Scott wants to introduce himself.
Hi, I'm Scott.
Oh, nice. He's visiting, for people on Zoom, he's visiting from Albuquerque, Scott, and he's dog sitting for 2 weeks.
what you're doing. It's very cool.
Great. Thank you, Lisa.
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Lisa.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, Christine?
Hi, my name's Austin. I actually just moved to Berkeley from Virginia. I was at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Fredericksburg over there. But I'm a student at the law school at Berkeley, just started, and so I'm looking for some community to get out of the law school bubble. So nice to meet you all.
Thank you. Oh, over here.
Hi, I'm Holly. I'm Teresa Holtgren's granddaughter. I'm sure many of you knew her, and this is her son Eric, and this is our friend Jim, who recently moved in with us. But we haven't brought Eric back for a long time. There's been a lot of family stuff going on, a lot of health stuff going on. But when I asked Eric this morning if he wanted to go to fellowship, he moved.
Yay.
He moved as fast as he eats ice cream. And that is quite a bit to say. So he's very happy to be back, and so are we.
My name is Jim Dyson. I am a retired Disciples of Christ minister, and for 25 and a half years was a minister in Richland, Washington, which is a part of the Tri-Cities. After retiring in 2001, I became a part of Shalom United Church of Christ and moved here just the 9th of August. Holly has been a longtime friend, and she told me that if my kids, for some reason, could not host me when I began to decline in energy, that she would be glad to do that. And of course, I had to talk to my kids, and they really like Holly and think that was a good idea. They did not have the adequate room in their homes to take me in. And so Holly has been a dear, dear friend, and her kindness is greatly appreciated. It's good to be here this morning.
Thank you, Jim and Holly. Anyone else? Awesome. Great. Thanks very much, everybody.
Please read the words with us in your order of service for extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish the flame of this chalice, but not the warmth of love, the light of truth, or the energy of service. These we carry in our hearts until we meet again. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. You are welcome to stay and enjoy a community lunch. We'll be having light refreshments after the service. Have a great afternoon, but first, for our final song, we will form a circle around the hall and sing together hymn number 155, Circle Round for Freedom.
Circle for No, that's round for freedom, circle for relief, for all of us in prison, circle for relief, and all the red, echo of our children. The circle We are at the Nile's end. We are carrying particles from every continent, creature, and age. It's been raining on the plains of our vision for millions of years, and our senses are so muddy compared to yours, dear God. But I only hear these words from you, God, when we're all trying to embrace the clear sky and ocean. Dear one, come, please, my dear ones, come. May our prayers find favor in this universe as we step into the new day. Blessings until we meet again. Amen.